Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Same format as usual. Timeline of what I've seen during June. This was nice to see the woodpecker feeding its chicks. These were at Harebridge, with the odd grey squirrel and hares. We'd only just been commenting that we hadn't seen any of the red deer for ages, and then shortly afterwards 3 turned up. And then a few more turned up, and a few more, and a few more. We ended up with probably about 50 or 60 red deer. You'd think they were frightened to jump that fence. They'd run up and down, and then all of a sudden they'd just all jump over it without any effort whatsoever, just to get to the other side. To be fair, they go through the other field and into some woods and just disappear totally inside the woods. Considering they're they are a large deer, they disappear quickly enough, just lie down in the grass and you'd never know they were there. Go on, jump over, go on. That's more like it. Effortless. It just kept coming and coming. This was probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. There they go, easy peasy. See what I mean about they kept coming and coming. Almost forgot to look at the osprey nest that used to it being there. Then back home to Ulverston with the local roe deer, which are my favourite. These two were running around like spring lambs. I don't know why, but it's coming up to birthing time for roe deer, and I'm pretty sure this one that was lying in the hedgerow was ready to give birth. Barn owl just sat on his box, stood hoping for an hour and a half that it might fly around, but I'm guessing it doesn't have chicks because I'm sure it'd be out hunting more. I had a week down in Oxfordshire. Took all my camera gear expecting to see lots of wildlife, but I think there was less birds in Oxfordshire than there is round here. The only thing we kept seeing when we were driving around was red kites everywhere. But always when we were driving, anyway, this particular day, there was one hovering over my head while I had my camera, and I probably got some better pictures of this one than I did of when we went to Ballymac Farm where they feed them. That was just a feeding frenzy, but here they were just hovering around in the wind. Got some quite decent shots, I think. That's a nice example of a jackdaw compared to a red kite, size wise. Back home, a shopping trip up to Kendal, see if the dippers were still around, which they were. A bit more water coming down the river. It's been so dry, but I didn't see the young ones this time. In fact, I only saw this one particular dipper. Back home again, the roe deer and the juvenile robin and a song thrush. I was dog walking, I think, this particular week, so I did the same walk 4 times in the day, morning, mid-morning, afternoon and evening, thinking I'd see different things at different times, but I didn't really. In fact, I probably saw less than usual. That rabbit pretending to be a hare. Juvenile robin again. Chettis warbler. Easy to hear, hard to spot. That's a Chettis again. Great crested grebe on its nest. Hoping to see young, but they haven't had them yet. That's a great back gull chasing an otter. And the usual grey squirrels that seem to be everywhere. And a tench. There's a great crested grebe caught a tench, believe it or not, and ate it in one go. You wouldn't have thought it possible. There's black-headed gull chasing off an osprey at Leighton Moss. There's a good number of avocets, and they were quite close in compared to usual. And a couple of spoonbills. They're always nice to see. Strange looking, but nice to see something a bit different. Yeah, going back to these dog walks, I really was hoping to see a lot more, because I've been out at 6 o'clock in the morning up until 9 o'clock at night, but the only things that I saw different, and that was only on one night, was a really nice kestrel and a buzzard. Apart from that, I saw less than I would normally see. On a couple of greylags, they'd obviously had the young, but they only had one left, unfortunately. They were guarding it well though. Here's the kestrel on the top of a telegraph pole, and the buzzard on top of an old derelict building. And a nice wren out in the open for a change as well. Apart from that, just roe deer. Getting desperate when I'm taking pictures of house sparrows, but this particular day I didn't even bother taking my camera, but the roe deer were out, so I just used my phone. The videos turned out pretty good, really. They're in good condition, ready for breeding. It should be any time now, I think. I haven't seen the book for a while though, having said that, but I'm sure it'll turn up. There's Monty. 62 miles I'd walked in a week with him. Must do me good. Yeah, we're out even before the horses woke up. Went for a walk down Ulverston Canal. Oh, that's a skipper. Ulverston Canal, which hadn't been down since he started all this work, and wasn't much about other than this mallard had a new clutch of ducklings, but just down from in the direction that they were heading there was a heron waiting for them, so I'm sure one or two of those will have disappeared by now. Same old thrush again, sings its head off every morning. Reed buntings, they seem to be around a bit more. Slowworm. Sun came out and in seconds there was hoverflies everywhere. And this blue bottles blowing bubbles out of its backside, whatever the technical term for the appendage is. Didn't know they did that. That was the highlight of that particular day, the golden ringed dragonfly, absolutely beautiful. Big dragonfly. I just missed the grass snake going down its hole. I'll get it another day. This particular item, Keith spotted it, and it was the size of a pinhead. He said, take a picture of this, it's a tiny little beetle. Anyway, it turns out it was a shield bug, but it literally was the size of a pinhead. These merganser chicks up on the Kendall, and a few larger mallards, they seem to be doing pretty well. There's the thrush again. That's a nice goldfinch with its young. And again back at Haybridge with a few red deer coming through. Full-size shield bug, a bit easy to photograph. I didn't risk going in that field. Very inquisitive, came right up to the fence. There's my 6'2" mate, so that makes that teasel 7 feet at least. And a tiny little half-inch toadlet. Not as many around as usual, but nice to see one. And the ringlet butterflies were out everywhere that particular day. The odd damselfly, but only the odd one. I love this video. This is a door beetle. Very prehistoric looking. Quite pleased with that video. And on White Moss Town there was a pair of swans, but they only had 2 cygnets, which is unusual. They normally have at least 6 or 7. Speckled wood. I'm pleased with this. This is the same grass snake that I missed the week before. So I've got 1 or 2 pictures of it and then a decent video of it going back down its hole again. Here we go. Now they're coming up to the time when they'll be laying their eggs. They're the only snakes in the UK that actually lay eggs, all the others have live birth. And if you get to the end of its body, you'll see a great there. Now it's a great big swollen part, which I'm guessing it's the eggs ready to be laid. Might be wrong. Let me know what you think. And this is yesterday over at Leighton Moss, San Martin's Mediterranean gulls. The usual handful of avocets. Quite a few young. And a ruff, which is quite an unusual bird for Leighton Moss, but it's been kicking around for a few weeks, but the first time we've seen it, I think. Certainly the first time I photographed it. It was a long way away. These are always 600mm with a 1.4 converter in crop mode and then cropped in, so you can tell how far away we were. But then we went to the Eric Morecambe hide and we've never seen as many avocets. We counted over 80, I think we counted 86. So with the ones that were in the other pond, there must have been well over 100 avocets. This marsh harrier came in, chancing its luck, and the avocets saw it off without any problem. Quite aggressive little birds when they have to be. Never seen that many ever. Look at them all round that greater blackback gull. I don't know what was in the water, but they were certainly taking advantage of it. Marsh harriers again coming in to see what they can steal. Very windy yesterday, so we didn't think we were going to see much, but we went to the Causeway Hide and we had a great time. Must have just timed it perfect. We'd only just started to try and get a picture of the great crested grebe with its young. I'd just started moving position, just getting off the bench, and somebody shouted out, "Bittern!" The bittern flew past, so I got some grab shots of it, but they're quite decent record shots considering how far away it was. So to get the bittern and the great crested grebe together was quite good, quite rewarding. So no apologies for quite a lot of pictures of this coming up now. It was a reasonable distance and just so good to watch. Unfortunately, a lot of reeds in the foreground breaking up the image, but it was still really nice watching it, especially when the young kept appearing and disappearing, and the male one came and caught a perch, and the young one jumped straight off the back of its mother to take the perch off its father, then straight back under the wings. There it is, in fact. Such strange markings, the young ones. Just getting back on board there. The mother actually looked worn out, she kept nodding off. Having a drink. So that ended our day quite well, really. And on the way back we just had a quick call in at Falshaw, a really quick call in. And en route we took a couple of pictures of the fawn fallow deer off the side of the road there at Milnthorpe. But it's that windy and it just started to rain, so we didn't really stop at Falshaw. Don't particularly like taking pictures of the birds on the nests, but there's no activity going on. But these were nice to see. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you've got this far through, any comments you've got, please let me know what they are. Any ideas for improvements? If not, share, subscribe, like, dislike. I'll be back next month, hopefully. Bye for now.